When a boyfriend went on a trip to Thailand and stopped answering his girlfriend's texts, she actually went and rescued him from a kidnapping and a trafficking scam. This is something that has just happened, and this man is extremely lucky that his girlfriend put in all of that effort to find him, considering that there are many people who this exact same scenario has happened to, and they are still missing to this day. That is something that we will get into. There are other victims. This whole thing is a very elaborate scheme that is happening and needs awareness so that it can, first of all, be stopped, but second of all, others don't fall into the same exact scam. You are such a genuine gem. Thank you for clicking on my video. I am Brooke Mckenna, and today is a recent case that happened over in Thailand and involves a Chinese citizen who was actually a famous actor, but we will get into all of that. I also want to remind you to sign up for the Genuine Gem newsletter so I can personally send you my videos when YouTube fails to do so. All you have to do is put your email in. That's it. No spam, no charge, nothing. And also, if you want extra content, which is exclusive and ad-free, I do have a Patreon. I'm actually filming the video for that next. Great new things to happen in the new year, and I hope to see you over on Instagram as well. I want to thank our sponsor, Pair Eyewear. We've spoken about them before, and I've actually gotten a few new pairs of their magnetic top frames, including a pair of sunglasses, which I love. So this time I got some black lenses as well as this burgundy colored lens, which I am obsessed with. And then I got the tortoise shell sunglasses, and I'm so excited to wear these and be able to go from glasses to sunglasses so easily. If you don't know, Pair Eyewear is redefining eyewear with easy and affordable and customizable ways to pick your glasses, whether it's for prescription or just for blue light. They offer a virtual try-on to find your perfect base, and then once you find that, I have the Wanda and love those, then you can go and pick your top frames that just easily add right on. You no longer have to have one style of glasses for years. They have so many different frames that allow you to be able to choose what you want on the daily. Pair Eyewear even has a pair for pair program which provides glasses to children in need. So if you would like to get your own pair, just click the link in the description and you will get 15% off your first pair. Now let's get back to the story. So earlier last month, January 2025, 31-year-old Wang Xing wanted to go to Bangkok for work. Wang Xing was a Chinese actor who went by Sing Sing as his stage name. He was most known for his debut role in Ip Man 3, which was a 2015 movie about a band of gangsters led by a crooked property developer that made a play to take over a local school, and Master IP was forced to take a stand. Now, Sing Sing did not have a huge role in this movie. In fact, his name wasn't even listed on the cast. He was just known as Teacher Number 2. But he had a decade-long career after that in the entertainment industry. He appeared in TV shows such as Fox Spirit Matchmaker, Red Moon Pacted. He was the innkeeper in that one, as well as being in The Tale of Rose and Psychologist. Wang Xing was not yet a huge celebrity, but he was very passionate about what he did, and he was very open to taking any opportunity. Now, he had been contacted for an audition in a movie in Bangkok where they were having a casting call. He was in communications with whom he believed to be the Chinese employers of a major Thai entertainment firm. They were talking through the app WeChat, and they claimed that all he had to do was book a flight to Bangkok, Thailand. They would meet him there. They would take care of a few things. And so he did so. He was asked to send proof that he was on his way with photos and videos. And he was texting this person who appeared to be with the Thai media company, which was GMM Grammy. Now, this was an actual company that could be searched up on Google. And so Wang Xing believed that this was legit. Now, Wang Xing would arrive in Bangkok, Thailand on January 3rd of 2025, and one of these employees that he'd been in contact with met him as soon as he left the gate. He escorted him through security, and they had previously spoken about staying at a nearby hotel after he got off the flight. However, he was then informed that they had changed plans, and instead they were going to go all the way to Mae Sot in western Thailand, which was about 500 kilometers or 310 miles away. So it would be a bit of a drive. It was in fact a 7-hour drive. So they got into this car that had been arranged for Wang Xing, and this is when Wang Xing had a very odd feeling about this whole situation. And in fact, he contacted his girlfriend Jia back home in China. He was telling Jia about the new plans, sending her screenshots of the conversations and locations of where he was at. But as soon as they crossed the Thailand-Myanmar border, she would lose contact with him altogether. Now, his girlfriend Jia wasted no time contacting his family and reaching out to the local police before contacting the Chinese embassy in Bangkok as well as the Chinese consulate in Thailand to report him missing. They told her to file a report with the Mae Sot police, which is where he was last known to be. Jia would tell the police, along with social media, that her boyfriend had vanished under mysterious circumstances. He was deceived by individuals posing as film crew members. While Thai authorities confirmed that he in fact did cross the border into Myanmar, there was no evidence found that he was actually forced there. Thai authorities told the family that they had CCTV footage from the border that showed him appearing to cross voluntarily, though they were requesting assistance, the Thai police were, from all local authorities to look for this actor. So they knew something was up. Now, when news broke of this disappearance, a fellow Chinese actor named Xu Dezhu came forward saying that he had almost been abducted in an eerily similar way to this story. He claimed he had flown in for a job advertisement for a new movie in production being filmed in Thailand. However, when he arrived, the employees tried to take his passport. He then refused to go along with them, and later he would find out that the film production did not exist. Now, this made the situation even more concerning, as Mae Sot, where he was last known to be in Thailand, was nearby the Myanmar-Thailand border. Myanmar was known to be a hub for criminal compounds where people were held against their will and forced to be involved in scams. In fact, it had gotten worse after the 2021 military coup in Myanmar, which resulted in the country's devastating civil war that is still ongoing today. This all started with the election in 2020 when the USDP, or a political party that is aligned with the military, saw its numbers of seats in the legislative chambers decrease. So they did not like this. They began to claim that the election was tainted with fraud and wanted the polls rerun. While there was no evidence of this, the military then asked the government to delay the opening of parliament, but this was rejected. And so the USDP was very angry. And this is when their presidential candidate, who was Senior General Min, warned the public that if the laws were not respected, as the military believed they were not, the Constitution would be revoked. So on February 1st of 2021, when Parliament was scheduled to reopen, the military actually seized power of the government, and the opposing members, who were the NLD members, were detained, and the military-appointed vice president became president and declared a 1-year state of emergency. He then handed the power over to Senior General Min, who would then later become prime minister. But the military ended up having to arrest more than 20,000 anti-coup protesters and kill more than 3,000 after the power was seized from the democratically elected government and handed to the military. These civilians were protesting. In fact, 50,000 houses and buildings were burned. They are now 4 years into this civil war, and many activists have been sentenced to imprisonment, hard labor, and even death. It is said to be a human rights crisis, and there is even a group called the 3 Brotherhood Alliance, who launched Operation 1027, seizing military bases, checkpoints, and finding locations where victims in Myanmar had been trafficked and forced to work in cyber scams. This is just a well-known thing.
เพราะฝั่งนู้นเนี่ยต้องเรียนว่าก็จะมีร้านอาหารมีการแสดงมีชุมชนมีอาคารต่างๆเหมือนกับเมืองหนึ่งมีบ่อนคาสิโนซึ่งมีการแสดงมีคอมเพล็กซ์มีเงินหมุนเวียนที่มีจำนวนมากไปก็เหมือนวัดดวง
So the OHCHR, or the UN Human Rights Office, estimated that around 120,000 people were being held in compounds in areas often controlled by pro-military militias bordering Thailand and China, and they were all forced to work in these cyber scams and illegal gambling run by criminal gangs. They were lured to Myanmar from neighboring countries, including China and Vietnam, with promises of jobs, and then forced somewhat under threat of violence to participate in these scams. They were often offered freedom for ransom that they did not have available to them. However, it was believed that these networks were broadening their victims to target celebrities and wealthier individuals to create even more profits for themselves. In November of 2024, the Ministry of Public Security stated that China and Myanmar were working together to end these fraud farms, and they ended up arresting more than 53,000 suspects. They stated that all large-scale fraud centers near the border had been wiped out. It was unknown if they knew how wrong they were, because today it is still occurring. Now, this was known to be a very dangerous place, and Wang Xing knew this, but he hadn't traveled there. He had traveled to Thailand, believing that he was staying there for an audition, and he would have likely refused to go to Myanmar if he was being told to. But he didn't have a choice, or so it seemed. Now, like I said, there was tons of these victims, and a lot of these victims had never been seen again after they vanished. But that is not what his girlfriend Gia was going to allow. And so on January 5th, Wang Xing's girlfriend Gia took to Weibo, a social media site in China. She would post that her boyfriend had been sharing his location with her. However, communications stopped completely on January 3rd around noon. Now, although her boyfriend was not huge or a well-known actor, Gia knew just how to get attention. She began tagging as many celebrities as possible, asking them to spread the news. And an actor named Gong Jun, who had once actually worked with Wang Xing, he reposted. He said, "I've acted in scenes with him before. He is a great and dedicated guy. I hope he is safe." And because of that, other Chinese celebrities began to share, and this went viral online. Gia had also posted the screenshots of the text that Wang Xing had sent her prior to vanishing. And these were the conversations that he had had with this alleged Chinese employee of this Thai entertainment firm. And these showed the name as well. And that is when another actor saw these screenshots and immediately recognized the name of the recipient of those texts. You see, a man named Din Zhu claimed that he was affected by the same scam. He had posted his messages with that same person, that Yan Shilu, where he was asked to reissue his passport so they could give him a project in the future of a movie set. So thankfully, he actually didn't end up traveling to the area, but he was very close to being in the same situation. Who Shu Deju posted a real-time video saying that he had almost been in the same situation as Wang Xing. He said that he had just arrived at the airport. He was told to get into the car, but he actually refused, and he took a $224 deposit from the filming crew, and he ran away from them. He posted a video from the airport saying that he fell for this fake shoot, and that the traffickers flew their victims to Bangkok, booked a return ticket to assure them that they were safe, and then would force them into the car to traffic them. But thankfully, this actor Shu knew not to get into the car, because as he was leaving, he actually called one of his Thai friends, who told him to call the front desk of the hotel where he was supposed to be staying, that was booked by this film production crew. And so he called, and he realized that this hotel was actually 5 hours away from the airport when it was supposed to be very close. So he realized what was happening and he was able to escape, but Wang Xing had not yet been able to escape. And so Jia planned to leave the next day on January 6th to travel to Bangkok, file a local report, and seek assistance from those who actually lived there. She said she was going to find her boyfriend and put an end to the real-life version of No More Bets, which was a film that came out in 2023 about victims who were enticed by the promise of high-paying jobs and found themselves trapped in a foreign country of prisoners of a scam mill. A film that was a little too similar to this situation for comfort.
โดยทางข้างผู้กับไม่สอนเองก็ประสานหน่วยงานข้างเคียงทุกส่วนเราช่วยกันทั้งทหารนะครับแล้วก็ชุดเฉพาะกิจราชมนูญนะครับแล้วก็ฝ่ายปกครองนะครับแล้วก็ตรวจคนเข้าเมืองนะครับตำรวจตระเวนชายแดนแล้วทีนี้เรา
Then another Chinese man, Heo Zindong, came forward with his story. He was actually a survivor of these fraud farms. He had been held for 59 days back in 2023. Now, he has not said much about his story, only that he has suffered many nightmares since coming home. But he said that it was so bleak being there that he wanted to die. He said the only reason he was speaking about his experience now was to help other families find their missing loved ones. He stated that the only real way to rescue these victims is for the victims themselves to somehow send out their location to their family members, and then they could go and find them. But other than that, nothing really could be done. So hope seemed very bleak for Wang. But on January 6th, around 11:16 p.m., the Thai news announced that Wang Xing had been found safe and alive, that he was going to be sent back across the border to Thailand the following day. So news began to report that he was in contact with his family. He had allegedly been located in the Myanmar industrial area in Myanmar.
ชิงเนี่ยได้ใช้ WeChat พูดคุยกับทางคนจีนด้วยกันซึ่งใน WeChat เนี่ยเมื่อกี้ผมดูนะครับเขาก็จะเขียนว่าคำว่า GMM Gammy แล้วก็เป็นชื่อของคนจีนซึ่งก็เป็นลักษณะใครก็ได้ที่ตั้งชื่อขึ้นมานะครับซึ่งเจ้าตัวนายชิงชิงเองก็ไม่ได้รู้จักว่า GMM Gammy คืออะไรนะครับเพียงแต่ว่าคนที่กล่าวอ้างที่เป็นคนจีนเนี่ยก็ได้อ้างว่าจะพามาแคสติ้งที่เมืองไทยนะครับ
The next day on January 7th, 4 days after he vanished, Wang Xing spoke to the media with Thai police officers. He had a shaved head at this point. It was announced that he had lived in fear for 3 days. He, in fact, had been kidnapped and forced to work in this scam. He was obviously in a very different state than he was when he first went missing, and he had a completely shaved head, but he stated that he had been to Thailand before. In 2018, he got an invitation, so he thought that it was a normal casting. He knew that Thailand was a safe place, so he arrived with his visa that was valid through March. However, that is when the production company transported him, and he didn't realize he was in trouble until they came up to the border and there were men with guns. He said when he got to Myanmar, armed men pushed him into a vehicle and he was taken to a home with at least 50 other Chinese nationals and individuals from other countries. He then underwent the initiation process where he was forced to shave his head, and then he underwent training for these scams. He was training over text message for the next 3 days in this environment that was very dangerous. He couldn't sleep. He said he didn't even have time to pee. He said it was a horrifying experience. He was extremely terrified and worried that he might not ever escape. The Thai police then confirmed that Wang was a victim of human trafficking and could return to China within the next few days. His lawyer told the media that he was safe and preparing to go home.
中国有关驻外使领馆已接到当事人亲属的求助，并保持着密切沟通，正在核实情况，开展工作。我们将继续跟进事件的进展，指导驻外使领馆做好后续的工作。
But Wang that spoke to the media with the officers by his side, he was speaking in English, talking about how grateful he was that he was rescued and that Thailand was still a safe place to visit.
I just want to say thank all of us. Firstly, is the government and also the families to help me to be here, and I can have the chance to go back to my country. It's very appreciated. Yeah, and also Thailand is very safe, and I'm gonna go back again. Yes, and everything in here is good.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Yes,
you all of you.
and yes, why do you go to Thailand?
I'm okay.
Okay, I
Can you so you thank for our government and Prime Minister? Can you want to come back again in Thailand?
Yes, I
You
will.
know, just do you think Thailand is safe for you?
Yes,
Right?
and-
Can you speak in Chinese? Chinese
Okay.
that tell people?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Now, on his flight home, Wang spoke a little bit more about what he experienced, and I will play that for you now.
So after you pass the river, do you know that is Thailand? I don't know until the army just with weapon and just push me into the car. I know, wow, maybe it's not Thailand. Maybe it's in the other country. Many people around the building. Many people. Yes, I think so. Maybe at least the second company is about 50. Or maybe can you go out of the building? I can't. Third building, third company, it's more. It's huge. They have different countries in that area. When you shave your hair, because everyone is cut again. Somebody did it. Yeah, somebody. I can't do that by myself. It's my hair.
On January 9th, his girlfriend Gia would post that she was reunited with her boyfriend. She was praised for her part in the rescue, and no arrests had been made at this point, but they were still investigating the case. Interestingly enough, the Thai Prime Minister then created a video to address the tourist safety concerns. This was to Chinese tourists specifically, and she used AI to speak Mandarin to them. She spoke about how she had heard their many concerns about the human trafficking, and she stated that they took the matter very seriously and that the investigation was happening, that they were going to have stricter laws to prevent illegal border crossings and provide support for tourists. She said that basically they wanted to rebuild trust and warmly welcome the Chinese tourists. Basically, the Thai authorities were on damage control after this had happened, which is believed to be why Wang had spoken to the media about how Thailand was a safe place and that he would be returning.
Can you so you thank for our government and Prime Minister? Can you want to come back again in Thailand?
Yes, I
You
will.
know, just do you think Thailand is safe for you?
Yes.
Right?
Now, Wang's rescue was said to be due to his girlfriend's efforts to share his story online and to get a lot of people involved, as many other victims of the Myanmar trafficking have yet to be located or rescued. In fact, many of these Chinese families have since spoken out about their missing loved ones who are trapped in the same or similar scam centers and have been missing for months or even years without rescue. In fact, a joint petition was filed from 174 of these Chinese nationals who had missing family members in Myanmar. They were pleading with the government to do more to bring them home. This was a document that showed missing persons' age, the time and the routes of their disappearance, and that most of these people were between 17 and 35 and mostly men. Now, the Global Times was actually the news outlet that found this document, and they revealed that many of the missing people actually had entered Myanmar near that Thai border, or they had entered from the Chinese border. It was also recorded that there were 3 families that had actually gotten texts from their missing loved ones saying that they were there being forced to participate in this illegal scam, but they still could not be found. And this petition stated, "We have no intention of inciting any confrontation. We simply hope to genuinely draw the government's attention and accelerate efforts to intensify and expedite crackdowns." And after the spreadsheet was actually shared, other families who believed that their loved ones were involved in these scams were asked to add their information, and that is when the 174 families went to 1,200 families. And many in the public wondered what happened to the dozens of other people who Wang Xing had said was trapped in that same compound as him. One comment on social media said, "You can't just save him because he's famous, right?" It has been reported that after tracking these operations, there was an estimated 6,000 people being held in these compounds, 3,900 of those being Chinese nationals. And the Inspector General with the Royal Thai Police Office was now at the heart of these investigations that were being pushed in the media even further due to Wang Xing. That's when we began to hear stories of the other missing people and what they had experienced, what their families had been through. One was a 24-year-old Brooke Makenna who had gone on a trip to Thailand and Cambodia back in October 2024. She had actually shared her location with a friend, saying that she was near Mae Sot, the same place where Wang had last been seen. She also texted her mother saying that she was very busy and might not answer her text promptly, but soon after that, she went silent. Her family immediately reported her missing back home, and they asked the Chinese embassy for help in Thailand, but it had been about 3 months that they have not received any more information about her. After hearing Wang's rescue, her brother actually said that it gave them a glimmer of hope instead of total despair. There were also 3 other cases in particular that occurred in Thailand. One was a 25-year-old male model, and then 2 21-year-old women who vanished under mysterious circumstances similar to this. The 25-year-old model Yang had flown to Bangkok on December 20th of 2024, you guessed it, for a film audition, and it was known that he was driven to the border as well. He actually called his mother shortly after allegedly being kidnapped, and this was on December 29th. He said that he was safe, but he had injuries around his eyes and he appeared distressed and he was not holding that phone. And so it was believed that he was being held against his will. And Wu had actually arrived in Thailand on January 6th, 3 days after Wang. And her father actually reported her missing the day after, and the police said that she was traveling with a friend as well who also went missing. Now, she had only known this friend for less than a year and didn't even tell her parents of her travel plans before she got there. She had ended up sending her location to her mom when they were in Thailand, and her mom told her not to travel to Myanmar. She responded that she wasn't stupid, she would not dare to go there. And so investigators working Wu's case found that these women had traveled in a white van from the airport to the hotel. They spent the night there. And so investigators went to the hotel, but the surveillance footage was not working at that time. So the staff working there said that these girls checked out around 9 a.m. the next day. They were believed to get into a black vehicle. And on January 8th, her dad actually filed a complaint with the Thai police because he believed his daughter had fallen victim to human trafficking and they were doing nothing about it. Now, on January 10th, authorities did actually apprehend the driver of that black car that these 2 girls were said to get into, but he would end up telling police that he had taken Wu to Myanmar's Myanmar region, exactly where Wang was rescued from. So on January 13th, Wu, the woman who had been traveling with her friend when she vanished, was also found by Chinese authorities and transported safely back to China. Her father told the reporters that she was found in the same place that Wang Xing had been found a week prior, and he then withdrew his complaint about the police. 4 days later, on January 17th, an arrest would be made in the case of Wang Xing. Public security authorities were investigating a human trafficking criminal group based in Myanmar, and the Chinese and the Thai police were jointly arresting people. 12 people had been arrested as suspects in connection to this kidnapping. However, they said that the investigation was ongoing and there were efforts to apprehend even more suspects. But this is when the news also announced that Wang Xing wasn't the only one rescued. There were 4 more individuals returned to China, but they were only listed by their surnames: Sun, Yang, Wu, Lin, and Zhu. Of course, you know about Wu, the girl who had traveled with her friend and then was rescued in the same alleged area that Wang was. But was Yang the same Yang we spoke about earlier, who had called his mother with injuries on his eyes saying that he was safe, but he obviously wasn't? It was, in fact, that Yang who had been missing for a month. His father had launched a social media campaign similar to Wang's in hopes of finding him. And on January 17th, Wang Xing shared a video on social media with the caption, "Reporting safely right after touchdown. Thank you to all my compatriots who cared about me, and thank you to my relatives and friends. I couldn't come back without any of you. I love you." Now, it has not been confirmed whether he was a victim of the same scam, but in his video, he was seen with a blackened thumb, and many began to speculate that he was abused during captivity. Now, a counselor who had been advocating for these missing persons families claimed that he had been working with these families since last summer, but the government had not been doing much and had not made much progress until now with Wang's rescue and the huge media coverage. So many were hopeful that this is going to lead to even more rescues. Now, the Actors Committee of the China Federation of TV and Radio Association is urging actors to be cautious with overseas jobs. After these rescues, nearly 500,000 posts on social media have been Googling how to cancel flights to Thailand. Nobody wants to go. In fact, flight cancellations have surged 150%. And in fact, even celebrities aren't willing to go there. A Hong Kong pop star named Easton Chan even canceled his upcoming concert in Bangkok over safety concerns, as well as a Chinese comedian who did the same. Wang Xing has since posted on social media after his rescue, "I am just an ordinary person who gets afraid and worried, but just when I was about to give up completely, it was you who gave me hope. Let me choose to believe a little more, persist a little longer, and helped me to recover." But many are wondering just how the government had rescued Wang and the few others, yet allegedly left so many still kidnapped and trafficked in this situation. It is theorized that possibly the government does not want to help fix this problem and are in fact enabling it or not doing anything to stop it. This is apparently a really big problem, especially in Myanmar, but in the countries around it. And these human trafficking scams are becoming more and more common. And so I just felt like this is something that we need to spread the information on. People need to be aware. And I also just thought it was an insane story that this boyfriend's girlfriend could save her boyfriend because she immediately knew when he wasn't texting her back that something was wrong. I just truly feel for all of the families of these missing people who believe that they know exactly where their family members are and what is happening to them, but they cannot reach them. It's baffling to me. And the fact that Wang Xing said he was in this building with 50 other people, and yet those 50 people were not immediately rescued with him, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Why would you just take him unless you only care about the rescue because it is so widely spoken about on social media and the news? I'm so sorry if I butchered any names or locations. I really did try my best, but let me know if you are from any of these areas or you have found more information on this. Leave it down below for everybody to read. I tried my best to find as much information as possible, but it seems to be a very scary place, and I would just be cautious when traveling. In fact, I would not go to Myanmar at all, but traveling to places like Thailand, please be very safe doing so if you are willing to risk it. But don't forget to speak up. Your voice is powerful enough, and I love you to absolute pieces.